shape that we need. Boom. Now we can turn this on, and we can turn this on, and these should be accepting power from up top. And of course, as you can see, they have pretty much no charge at this point. Hello everyone, Thranxes here, and welcome back to Stationeers episode 6, where we're going to be working on getting our energy area set up with hard batteries and transformers and our power controllers and our heavy cables. And we're going to talk about all the reasons why and set up our little main area for managing our power so that we don't have to worry about not having enough power to make it through the night anymore. Just doing a little bit of grinding to start the episode off. We're a little short on copper and iron, but let's get to the base and let's get to setting everything up. Alright, so what we're doing here now is we're making some heavy duty cable coil because our solar array is going to eventually have enough solar panels that it's going to have an incredible amount of power on it, and so we want to be able to control that power with the large batteries. So what we're going to do is we're going to juggle these large cells off the charger to keep the power up throughout the night. For now, it's going to be a little tedious, but we're going to have to do it that way, and we're going to make a lot of these heavy duty power cables, because once we run one heavy duty cable down to where we're going to do the solar control station where the energy is managed, then at that point we will be able to we'll be able to wire the other solar panels to that main heavy cable line with heavy cable at another time. We won't have to do it all up front and all at once, just as long as the main line down to where the batteries are is heavy cable. So I'm going to get started with that, and I will bring you along with me when I have some progress to show. Okay, so I wanted to show this part simply because it was mentioned in the comments and I wanted to talk about it, is the wiring into frames. I think we had the right tool a minute ago. Right. So you can do this at any time. Let's put this tool away so that we can pick up the sheets with our other hand. You can break a frame down to get inside of it, underneath it, through it, and you can rewire things any way that you like. So for example, what we're going to do is we're actually going to reroute this power into this frame so that it's through the wall, because we have to replace it with heavy duty cable anyways. But this is how you do it. So there's no need to feel like you have to do it up front. It can all be done on your own time schedule with what's most important. But because this heavy cable is going to be a permanent line and it's going to go to a permanent room, we want to do it up right. All right, I'm going to get back to cutting these wires right after I put these sheets away. Okay, so I've swapped out the battery. I've done a little bit of digging, made myself some frames and some sheets. Looks like just in time for the sun to come up, which is good because we need to start charging this extra battery. And what I'm going to do is show you a little bit of what I did and why. So the major cable that runs with the power is actually running down through that section there. We should actually go ahead and put some frames down here just to have them. All right, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, right now the heavy duty cable has no business being plugged into the APC like that, but we're using it just because. What we need to do though is we need to get that heavy cable running down here. And then from this block, it just needs to run downward. So we're going to leave that block open for now. And it runs all the way down here, which is going to be sort of near the entrance to the base. It's not exactly the entrance, but this is going to be an area that you'll have to come by in order to get to the stairs that go up to our area up top. And this area here, at least for the time being, is going to be right over here. So then what that means is we'll need to run the heavy duty cable down here, which shouldn't be too bad because this is sort of a straight shot and one over from where the stairs are. And we'll line up our hard batteries kind of along this wall. We'll put our power transformer here, and then we will run that power cable back up on the other side of the stairs, which should be, if I cut back, it's 1121, which should be right here. And then that's the power that'll be coming out of the transformer. And this will be our little power room. And then we'll set our emergency solar console here. Since we're going to have a panel here, we'll just go ahead and we'll build these iron frames, at least that one for now. And that's where the cable will come down. Okay, so let's, should I do something about that? I feel like this should be another frame. I don't really want that to be a walkway. In fact, this will be a frame. We might even put an airlock here to be how you go out. Once we start to pressurize things, it's possible anyways. I'm not certain. I'm still learning about the game as I go. I have a pretty good idea how I want things to be. But of course, everything can change. Here, I put this battery in here. And apparently we have all the power we could possibly handle, even while we're charging that. That's pretty cool. Wow, so we are pegged. Excellent. Then we might as well, is it because we had stuff turned off? What if we start turning lights on? Still, it's charging both batteries. Well, I wonder what changed. It's able to charge both of these batteries now at the same time. Perhaps it was just because they were both critical before? Yeah, I'm not certain. Okay, we'll leave that be for now. I'm going to go and wire the heavy-duty cable down, and then we'll talk about the batteries in the console in a moment. As you can see, I have been making quite a bit of heavy cable coil, and in fact, I even have some over here. Let's start turning lights off because the sun is starting to go down. We almost got our batteries charged. We still have a little bit of time. We might get it charged. Let's go ahead and kick our personal light on, and then what we'll do, actually, we'll just turn this off. And let's see, we'll throw our heavy cable in there. Grab this. Yep, just like that. Okay. I thought we had more heavy cable. I guess we don't. 25 should be plenty. Oh, there we go. It's even more there. 39 is what we have. So I've wired it down through these frames, and now we're working our way over here. We just ran out of heavy cable coil. Now, we don't need it yet. This is me trying to be proactive and plan ahead for a need that we're going to have, because if I'm going to wire up the batteries and the transformer and all of that stuff, then I'm going to want it to be, actually that's not going to work. I'm going to want it to be with heavy cable so that it can handle any future solar panel expansion that we might run into. And that's the way I want to curve it. At least they're letting me connect it underneath. Wow, how great is that? I did not know if the game was going to let me do that, but it did. Wonderful. And from here, we're going to curve it down. And you get the gist. I really just wanted to show you a little bit of what I'm doing instead of doing it all off camera so you can get an idea. And then we're going to dig down through here with more frames and put the wire all the way down. So we're going to kind of need to run dual tools with this setup because we're going to need the mining belt. I'm sorry, not the digging, the mining, as well as the wire cutters. So this is going to be somewhat interesting. I'm hoping I can swap one for one, and I can, which is good, so we can store the wire cutters in the belt at the same time as we're doing this. So we're just going to dig down until we break through over here, which we should be getting close. If we come over one, well, I was hoping this process would be kind of neat, but I don't see myself yet. All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll do it in reverse. Use a little bit of our jetpack here. It's not a big deal, though. What instead we're going to do is we're going to go down the stairs, whee, and then all the way over here to the end of the stairs, and then we're just going to dig up from this frame, which should already have us connected, and it does because it's really not that far down at all. Would you look at that? Because it's really, even though the stairs are long, it's really only 2 down, which is why we moved it over there. All right, let's go ahead and cut a little bit of this rock away. And I'm going to get to continue wiring here, and I'll bring you back when we have some more semblance of progress. Now that you know my routine, that's going to be dangerous. We're going to have to weld that frame together. Okay, so we're back down in the belly of the beast. It is a little dark. I do apologize. We're going to prioritize getting a light up very, very quickly, but for now we're going to put in these stationary batteries. There's not going to be a lot of room to walk around them just yet. We will expand this area out, but we're going to get some lights up in here pretty fast as well. But for now, we need to get our solar power going into these batteries. So let's start looking at what, I think if we do a configuration like this, and then we do the next battery sort of here, like this, I think that's good placement between them. We can always mine this area out. This room is going to be expanded a little bit, and then our emergency reset console is going to be over here. So all I need to do now is bring this heavy cable over this direction. Okay, so here we are. Let's go ahead, and I went back and got my tools. Let's carve out a little bit of this so we can see what we're working with here. We'll put in some frames. We'll make this area legitimate. Got it going in the right direction. Now, we did use all of our iron. Oh, we've broken through. Well, that just means we're going to have to weld those shut. But now we get a little bit of daylight. Look at that. Build some frames here and there. Some frames here and there, and then, but the last 2, we're going to go, well, I guess the last 1 will go there like that. Okay, that's fairly good start. I think we can go back to wiring now. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and we'll put our tool in our backpack, and then back to the wiring. So we want this to be a junction. It's important to note the heavy-duty cable does not come with a corner junction, so plan accordingly. If you're going to need a corner, you're going to have to do that separate before your junction. Oh my goodness. Low ceiling in here. Can we fix this? Please, can we do something about this? Thank you. All right, and now you just need to be put here. Oh, this is it. This is it. We're so close. No, we just need a corner piece to go right here. Let's put it in the shape that we need. Boom. Now we can turn this on, and we can turn this on, and these should be accepting power from up top. And of course, as you can see, they have pretty much no charge at this point. Now, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to wire the data and power separately, because we're just planning ahead. The big thing we're going to need down here, and I know I'm going to get to that light, is we're going to need a transformer. So I think we're going to go ahead and put the transformer here. Perhaps we will wire the data together for now. We'll just build the transformer kind of right next to this battery. So let's go ahead, and we don't really need to wire up the data specifically though, so we'll just leave it empty for now. And then we'll talk about why everything is wired up once we have some lights. Oops, that's going to need to be a junction. So once we have, I'm kind of trying to hurry so that we can get this area set up, and then I'll talk more about transformer on, but it doesn't have anything to give power to, about why we wired everything up the way that we did. So from here, after the transformer, it's going to be, ooh, it's wanting to fight with me a little bit. I'm just going to do it like this, a corner, and then another corner. Probably could have put that a little further back, but I don't see the point in doing that. Like that, and then from here, we need an APC. Luckily, they gave us 2, and make sure everything is pointing in the right direction. And that is like our universal power supply right there. So this will ensure that everything has got a system. So let's wire up the lights, and I'll bring you back when the lights are connected. Okay, so we didn't get too much of a charge. We do have 2 batteries and only 3 solar panels. These batteries can hold in a tremendous amount of power, so even a flashing red charge is pretty good. But we have the batteries on. Their power is wired to the transformer, which is on. We put a battery in here, did we not? We did not. Okay, well, I do have an extra battery that I think we can go ahead and part with, or nope, there it is. So we'll grab that, we'll throw it in there, we'll kick this on, and voila! We have lights. We have a light down here, and now we can see what we're doing. Very important. And I put my crowbar here. There we go. We'll just do that. Boom. That'll charge the ups. Those batteries will be getting a tremendous amount of power. And then all we have to do now is to wire it back up. Before we wire it up, let's talk about what's happening here. So the solar panels are going to give their charge directly to the battery. That's why we have this heavy watt cable, because eventually with a large enough solar array, we're going to be pushing over 5 kilowatts on the cable, at which point our cable will start to burn up unless it's heavy watt. So this was planning for the future, wiring it down into here with the heavy watt cable. These heavy watt cables I will reroute underneath these frames. The reason I didn't do it now is simple. I was running out of heavy watt cable and I need to go get more resources to continue gathering them. So let's say this transformer actually needs to allow, because we need to set our dial on the transformer. We cannot forget that. We're going to say it is allowed to send 5,000 watts through the ups, which right now is only controlling this light, because we have to wire this power back up through the top and replace our current power that we're using. And we're already up to 1 red solid light, and then our manual solar panel control panel will be right here to override the panels if they have messed up. And then we'll weld a lot of these frames up and make it start to look more like we're underground. But so far, I'm very happy. These batteries will allow us to be very well off on power for the future moving forward. So for now, all that's left is to bring the power up through there. And I was going to do it over here on this side. In fact, I might still do that. Maybe. Would be excellent if I could join it up with this wire here for the time being. A lot of this will get rewired over time. I'm sort of, at the moment, I am out of, I'm out of copper, really, is the main thing. And I was hoping to get some. I did hit a large silicon vein while I was down there digging our little underground battery area. But no copper at all. So I'm going to have to go get some copper because 9 coils is absolutely not going to be enough. And I'll bring you back when we are ready to continue from there. Okay, so it actually took us a little bit of time to get all the copper and make all the cable that we needed. And then, of course, to play around in the frames to get it all looking nice. And I've misjudged by 1, so let's fix that. But we're very close. We're very close to getting everything on the same energy grid, supported by 2 large stationary batteries, and that looks like that is it there. So for now, the UPS is powering these lights and everything up there, but that won't always be the case. It just is for now. All right, let's go through our little dark hallway. So we can go back upstairs, and now one of the things that we can do here, let's use a little bit of our jetpack up. Okay, what we can do is we can actually fix this now. This is no longer needed, and this can be a simple corner. Boom. we'll be able to pull that up from over there on the inside. Now, even with no power being given to the APC, the other power that comes up is wired up through here, which means we should be able to turn this on now and charge these batteries. That also means now that we'll be able to pull this down completely here. Let's do that. We'll put this battery in there to charge, which should be no problem for our large stationary batteries. At this point, we need to deconstruct our power controller, and we'll put that in here. And then we'll go ahead and get our wire situation taken care of. A little snip and a little snip, and then boom, there you go. Power is given. Batteries are charging. Ours is good. The computer is good. Let's take a look at the solar panels. Let's make sure they're good. They are all pointed at the sun. Chasing the high wattage. That's great. Let's go take a look at our stationary batteries downstairs, because now we should be good on power for a while. In fact, I'm going to weld up these floor panels and such here, and we can start actually building down here. And this is the storage area here. We have our transformer, we have our uninterruptible power source. Oh, we do need a console, right? Well, we're not going to. Oh, that means we're going to have to send solar panel data down there. We might do the console up here. Maybe we could do it right next to the computer for simplicity's sake. Let's go ahead and we'll print a few more cables. And then what we'll do is we'll get ourselves a little console up so that we can manually straighten out the solar panels if they ever get messed up. Well, you know, I don't know if that's a big priority. Especially because I wanted it down in that room. And yeah, that we're going to have to, because eventually the solar panel computer needs to go down there. All right, let's melt some more copper, keep this thing busy. Very good. At this point, I think what we need to do is actually manufacture a lot of iron, which luckily we have lots of while we were looking for copper. So once this copper smelts, it's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to make a lot of iron frames and a lot of iron panels, and we're going to start trying to actually build something underground and stair step down deeper. Hopefully we'll hit an ore node or two down there while we're digging and kind of knock out two birds with one stone. I don't know if we'll get that lucky, but that is the plan. Let's see, we could piggyback the solar data here. And then if we ran it that way, yeah, otherwise it would make sense to have data on the heavy cable. Would make sense to have data on the heavy cable of, at the very least, the lead solar panel. You can see we're draining these batteries to charge our other batteries. They should both have inputs in though, right? So they should both be pulling batteries or battery power. So if we don't wire the solar panel data all the way down, let me see. If we're just able to correct the lead solar panel, is that maybe all that we would need? Nobody got rotated. Could be. If we merged the lead solar panel's data and power together, ooh, then how would we keep it separate from everything else? No, it's going to have to all be one line. I don't know if I'm ready to run the solar panel data down there. Not when we have a stable system and everything's working and we have plenty of power to do all this stuff. Even charge these batteries through the night. With all of our lights on, We can, in fact, probably afford to leave everything on, but I don't see a need to leave everything on. On that note, though, I suppose we'll go ahead and wrap up the episode. We won't do the manual control panel for the solar panels just yet. The episode is getting close to the end, and it would take a little bit of time. I don't think we have time remaining. Now, we are going to have to address the oxygen issue before too long. Our oxygen tank is about 50% of what it started with when we first started playing. Let's see how much that battery charger is turning our batteries down. Okay, all right. It's all right. This one's fully charged. We've got it set to, yep, 5,000 watts. That's good. That's what we want to give. The control area power control unit should be balancing that. And then, of course, it looks like this battery is going to charge first and then this one second, which we can always get a battery charged and then turn it off if we want to make sure we always have a battery backup, but I don't think there's a point to that with the area power controllers. And here we are. Everything is good. Double large batteries charged. That's really delicious. I think from here we'll be able to smelt a lot of iron. We'll go out, we'll mine a bunch of iron, we'll smelt a lot of iron. We'll start mass producing frames and panels, and we'll try to dig down and get some semblance of the scaffolding of a base laid out beneath us. But for now, our energy demands are met. In fact, we're not going to have any energy problems now. We can add more solar panels very easily with some heavy watt cable and program them in, and then it's just going to help our stationary batteries that much more. So what we have to start thinking about now is atmosphere. The propellant situation is fixed, but the O2 we're going to need, and then the waste tank, the CO2, we can just vent that. It's not that important, but we will need it. So we want to start trying to capture all of our gases as much as possible. Let's see how this thing's doing. It still looks pretty warm. It's going to take it a little bit without a vent to get out all those materials. We'll have to add a vent station maybe above it or something that vents kind of out of the way of everybody. I've opened a vent when it's high pressure before and you're standing next to it. It can knock you around, rip your suit, and hurt you. So we're going to have to provide a release that doesn't point it at us as we stand in front of the valve and then get hit by the blast. I think we're also going to need to make our next construction unit over here, which I'm not even sure what that is. We'll have to check it out. And then, of course, a fourth light up here as well. But that's going to be where we wrap up the episode for now, as I'm just smelting iron and kind of giving a recap. We did a good bit, or at least there was a good bit that was done off camera. Hopefully it was able to be followed easily enough. So this has been Stationeers episode 6. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had a good time watching because as always, I've had a good time playing. So please come back next time as we continue to build the base in large scale now, as we start knocking out these iron frames and iron panels as quickly as possible, even while gathering more iron, because we can effectively run the lathe and the furnace non-stop now. So that's going to really help things. But until next time, take care.